Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can sign up to be a member of the Shannons Club, your local Holden certified service centre, Pace Farm the enjoyable egg, and Heron Forbes Machinery House, where you can buy online.
G'day, I'm Fletch and welcome to part 2 of Americarna for 2023. Well, here we are. It's day 3, Friday, and almost 900 American classic vehicles have gathered here this morning at TSB Stadium with Stratford, our first township today for the destination in our cruise. And there's a whole lot more awaiting you in this week's episode of Classic Restos. Now, on last week's episode, thanks to Venture Taranaki, some video footage was shown to help whet your appetite to come and visit the beautiful New Plymouth and Taranaki region. Now, if you missed it last week, check this. From the 12.7 kilometre coastal walkway stretching from near Port Taranaki past the central city through Hickford Park, past Bell Block Beach and to Tira Moana Crescent in Bell Block, northeast of New Plymouth. Spectacular views, spectacular sights. And the big one overlooking all is the dormant stratovolcano Mount Taranaki, resting at an intimidating 2,500 metres in elevation. Mount Taranaki is the second highest mountain in the North Island. Around 900 classic vehicles have just parked up in the lovely township of Stratford here in the Taranaki region, and it certainly is a sight to see. And there's one very special Imperial that I just have to share with you. Good morning, Graham.
G'day, Fletch. How are you?
Great, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm really well, thanks. Excellent.
Graham, this Imperial here, I know it's very special to you, but it also comes with a unique story as well, right?
Yes, it does, Fletch. It does. So it's been owned by military personnel all its life. So first bought by a Secret Service agent in Tulsa, and then sold to Tony Bevlacqua, who's a SR-71 pilot, famous pilot, in '91, and there he repainted it in its original colours. And from there, another Secret Service agent owned it until he was 93, and he was a computer specialist who worked to actually stop the old Iran nuclear centrifuges. So I've got some interesting stories from the old boy, yeah.
You're not with the Secret Service, are you, Graham?
I can't tell you, Fletch.
It's a dumb question, isn't it? Back in 1956, Imperial, a standalone product, and they were a standalone company for a long time before they became the Chrysler Imperial. But back in the time, Graham, in 1956, the price paid for one of these cars could have bought 3 standard Chevrolet sedans at that time.
Yeah, that's correct, Fletch. This car's got started off as in the high 5700s, and by the time they added all the extras to it, the man paid $8,005 for it. So I have the original bill of sale, and there's a record player in there called Highway Hi-Fi. That was the highest option at $750. So a third of a 56 Chevy for a record player.
It's amazing. And the price paid for these cars back in these times too used to be able to buy real estate in regional areas around the United States as well. Up front, what have we got powering it? I think I know, but I'll let you tell us.
We have a 354 Hemi, and it's running just a 2-speed transmission. So it's a few months early before it went to the 3-speed. So, but no, it's lovely. It's 280 horsepower. Gets along real nice.
You only need 2 speeds with a Hemi, don't you?
Yes, you sure do. Yeah, one to take off and the rest to go.
Well, Michael, it's been wonderful catching up with you, and you've got your wife Veronica with you as well. You do a lot of runs together?
We do, yes, and Veronica drives this car. She takes the girls out for, coffees and things in it.
High tea?
Oh, I don't think any much high tea. It might be more like a, afternoon gin or something, so.
Down the pub?
Well, maybe not.
All right, Graham, it's been a pleasure catching up with you, mate. I love the car, I really do, and you're doing Americarna proud bringing a car like this along, mate, so good on you.
Thanks, Fletch. Thanks for the interview. I appreciate it.
Americarna for 2023. Yeah, I like to get ahead of everybody and set up and get some great shots of the cars for you coming past. Now, one of the main reasons that John Ray and the Americarna team keep on getting me back is my experience of the area. I know every part of the route intimately, and that's a big thing when you're trying to bring the Americarna event to the people. And this particular section of road here is 5 kilometres, sorry? This piece here, they're not coming along here. They're not coming along here. The cars. Oh, 55 kilometres, but that way. 55 Ks. 55 Ks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the Americarna team approaches Diddy Ponga. Who did she ponga? Who did a ponga? Did anyone ponga? Sorry, oh, Kaponga. Americarna team approaching Kaponga now.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
When it comes to cars, there are some brands that will remain with us forever, no matter what. The Holden was always Australia's own car, held high in the hearts of many. Those lines, that chrome, the stories around them, and the people that owned them. From the classic through to the final, you can still trust in genuine Holden and AC Delco parts, available through the Holden Certified Service Network.
Okay, arriving at Harra this afternoon on Friday, and things are starting to ramp up. This is a part of the Americana event that a lot of people wait for. It's the acceleration times, or the drag racing part of Americana, where entrants themselves have a chance to use their own cars down one part of the street here in Harra that gets blocked off every year for this occasion. While the acceleration times have been going on, the remainder of the Americana entrants, a good 95% of them, over 800 vehicles, have parked up here in High Street in Harra this afternoon, taking up both lanes all the way for as long as the eye can see. How's this afternoon? How good is it here in High Street in Harra? We've got this guy here, got this 14-year-old boy. He comes up to me and says, Fletch, I've got a 63 Cadillac. And I thought, I better go and check it out. Andrew, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Fletch?
Good, mate. You're not 14, I know, but just take that as a compliment.
Yeah, no, everyone says that. I love it.
But honestly, this car is so cool. It's a really nice car. I think for a young bloke like yourself to drive this 63, how does that make you feel?
Makes me feel good. It just puts a smile on my face every time I drive it. I just love getting it out of the shed on the fine days.
What history can you tell us about the car?
So this car's 1963 Cadillac Coupe de Val. It's been in the country since 2001. I believe I'm the third New Zealand owner. Still running the original 390 cubic inch V8. Pretty original underneath. It's had a quick respray once in its life. But other than that, all the chrome's there. It's a few love taps around it which tell a story. Unfortunately, I didn't do those, so I don't know the story, but it's beautiful.
An original car is allowed to have love taps, and I'm just really impressed that you think a lot of this car. You even know about the 390. They were one of the best Cadillac engines. The 390 and the 472 were two really good engines. Are you happy with the way it drives?
I love the way it drives. When I picked the car up from Cambridge originally, my first drive home in it, I said to my partner, this is the best car I've ever driven through the Manitou Awakino Gorge. Just the driving of it, the sound of the V8, you can't beat the sound of a V8.
The interior is pretty good for its original condition too, Andrew.
Yeah, the interior is pretty good. It's good to have the original dash-net in it with no cracks and stuff. It's got seat covers over the seats, but they still fit in with that 60s era, which is fantastic.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
That's great. Andrew, thanks so much for your time. I had to have him on the show because I just, look, a couple of reasons. Next generation, I guess, up and coming with the old school cars is really important, and Andrew depicts that. Andrew, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Cool. Thank you, Fletch. It's been a pleasure.
This is Saturday, the final day of Americarna for 2023, and by no means, because it's the last day, is it the smallest day. There's always plenty going on. Before we go any further here, I'd like to show you a little bit of last night's cruise around the streets of the New Plymouth CBD representing Americarna, and it's always a massive hit for thousands of people.
When I was a kid, I loved cars, still do. The 57 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham was the most advanced car in the world. Cost more than a Rolls. Hand-built with a stainless steel roof, cruise control, electric seats, and would you believe, air suspension. American iron. It's a passion Shannons understand. That's why they insure my daily drive, the caddy, my bike, even the house.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
They may not be making the classic Holden anymore, but the legacy lives on. You can still have a Holden certified service using genuine Holden and AC Delco quality parts at over 180 centres across Australia. Go to holden.com.au to find your nearest centre. Book your Holden in, maintain the pride. And of course, it goes without saying, if you own a classic, it just has to be insured with Shannons. Why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646 and have a discussion to the Shannons representative about the many products. Find the one that might suit you best. And also, the Shannons Club awaits you as Australia's largest automotive online hub. For more information, visit shannons.com.au. It's time for the closing of Devon Street here in New Plymouth on the Saturday, and time for some interviews. And away we go. Special guest from the United States of America this year. How you doing, Gabe?
I'm doing just great, enjoying the weather and the car show.
Now, Gabe says right here, Gabe's Street Rods and Custom Interiors. So that kind of gives the game away as to what you specialise in. How long have you been doing interior work for?
I've been doing interiors for 45 years. And we started doing a custom interior, like 30 years ago. Yep. And once I started doing the custom, I decided to stick with the custom, and we do a still hard rods, Mm-hmm.
Very cool, Gabe. And what part of the United States are you from?
We're from California, and a little town called San Bernardino.
There's a couple of great reasons why you're here. First of all, special guests from the United States to this wonderful event of Americana for 2023. Look, I've got to ask you before we go on, I can't help myself, through your eyes, personally, I don't believe a lot of Americans are aware of what John Ray and the Americana team do here in New Zealand. What are your thoughts on Americana?
That's an amazing show, John, I think he does a really good job, a lot of organization, yes. And it's emotional, to see all the people, sitting in the land chairs in the wall side, waving the American flag. One of my favorite things, when we go to the senior citizen homes, and see those people, waving the flags. And they get so excited, it's something you can explain,
It's a real tug at the heartstrings, isn't it?
Really emotional, that gets me emotional when I see that.
Okay, the second part of why Gabe is here, and he's had an orchestral role in this 55 Chev behind us. Now, this Chev goes way back to Americana. This is the wife of John Ray, Diane Ray's car. Now, Di has had this 55 for many, many years. Since then, some gremlins were found in the car, and a few things have been done since then. Now, apart from some body work that's been done, you have done the interior. Now, have a go at the interior on Di's car. This man here responsible. Tell us, what is this interior? Does it have a name? What is the styling? The materials used? Can you just describe what you've done here, Gabe?
Yeah, we use like Italian leather. That's a combination white and black. And we did a little bit of perforation on the inserts of the seats. And we just call, we don't have a name for it, We just get a car, look the outside of the car, and we try to make something looks nice, inside, kind of flow with the rest of the car,
It is sensational, Gabe. Obviously, it's an accolade to your workmanship. And from an Australian here in New Zealand, welcoming an American here on the behalf, thank you for making the trip, Gabe. I hope you've embraced Americana for 2023. You've been an integral part of that. And on behalf of a lot of people, thank you very much for coming.
No, thank you so much. I feel blessed to be here, with all these beautiful people, and like I say, I want to come back one of these years.
You've got one job. When you go back home, you've got to start spreading the word about Americana.
Oh, definitely. I'm going to tell everybody, about my experience, and I'm going to tell everybody how great this is.
And this episode will probably end up on your website, I reckon.
Oh yeah, for sure. It had to be there. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gabe.
Oh, thank you so much, Fletch.
This man here, the founder of Americana. How are you, John Ray?
Oh, I'm a little bit fresh and nippy today. It's a bit cold out there, but hey, it's last day, and the weather's sort of played a little bit of havoc, but it hasn't interfered with the event too badly.
We must have had 4 or 5 seasons just in 4 days, but you know what? It takes more than that to stop the diehards out and about in their cars, John.
Well, mate, first of all, in Taranaki, you can have 4 seasons within an hour. But here we are. Look, we had a lot of rain last night, Friday night, last day, big park up in New Plymouth CBD. And here we are already. The doors have been open half an hour, and there's thousands of people in town already.
The 15th Annual Americana happening here in the Taranaki area 2023. And congratulations also, JR, one of the biggest years, around 900 vehicles, I believe.
That we had over 930 or 40 registered. We had a few issues with some couldn't get here for one reason or another, like the Inter-Island ferries, unbelievable.
So cars from the South Island just couldn't get here.
We've got a few here, Fletch, but I think there was about 40 stranded, so yeah, bloody disappointing.
As we mentioned earlier, this is the 15th Annual Americana for 2023. I'm very proud to be able to say that I've been a part of just about every Americana every year. It's been a fantastic ride so far, and again, great to catch up, JR. Thank you, mate.
Thank you, Fletch. Now let's get some of your country people to come over here and experience Americana.
How you doing, Daryl?
Good, thank you, Fletch. Yeah,
That's
good.
why, mate. Before the weather closes in, we've got to try and capture you. Now, you've got a beautiful, a delightful 1955 Chev behind us here. Comes with a nice story. Share it with us.
Yeah, when I was in early an apprentice in the early 80s, and there weren't many American cars in New Zealand, so I got hooked on getting an American car, and I was only about 19 years old, and my mate knew of one that was on the back of a farm somewhere in Oreni, and so I went and bought it. I had to borrow some money from my mate. We paid about $1,700 for it, and I remember going back there with a tow truck on a Friday night to pick this car up behind us. And
it was a lot of money back then.
Oh yes, it was, and I had to borrow some money, and I was only an apprentice panel beater, and so yeah, took it back home. My mother didn't want it at home, so I took it to my brother's flat and left it at his flat, and then yeah, just slowly over the years bought parts as I could afford them.
Beautiful paint job. What's the what's the colour called?
It's original regional turquoise and Indian ivory, so it is like original colours in there.
You have done something up front that's under the hood.
Yes.
What have you? The purists. If you're a purist, you've got to just go to the fridge or make a coffee for a sec or something. But no, it's okay. Tell us what you've done, Daryl.
It's running an LT 350 with roller rockers, roller cam, 700 R4 into a 12 bolt with an Eaton True Track.
There you go.
And front end and rear end sway bars and disc. Yeah.
For those of you that can't stay for the whole thing, you've kept the car looking how it should, but you've got a bit of go under the right foot as well.
Yes, I have. Yes, yeah.
And you Kiwis know how to use all of that.
Oh yes, more so than some. So yeah, there have
all right,
been
mate.
incidences.
Good on you, Daryl. Got to get on to the next interview. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, Fletch. It was very good to see you.
It's not every day of the week you get to see a 1929 Graham Page. How are you, Jolene?
I'm very well, thanks, Fletch.
Jolene, this is such an elaborate car. What can you tell us about it?
It's a labour of love. My husband loves old cars and he loves doing them up and playing with them, basically. So this one is a labour of love. It's a 1929 Graham Page, and it goes beautifully. We've done Art Deco for the last 23 years, and one trip over there, we take 4 cars over, and we actually got a speeding ticket sent to us in the post. So we've had John Ray actually put the rules to us on this event. He said no tickets, no speeding. So for 29, it purrs beautifully.
Well, it is a straight 8 at the end of the day, and in 1929, if you had a motor car, you were doing well.
Exactly.
But when you're at this level, I mean, we're up here with we're knocking on the door of the Duesenbergs and the Packards, and we're up in that level, aren't we?
I think so. And this is a straight 8. It's a Continental engine. It's well built.
The inside of this car, how elegant it is, and everything just seems so, I guess, ergonomically precise when we look at the dash. And the quality that goes in.
Cars were built very, very well back then, very substantial.
Yes. And looking through that beautiful windscreen, when we talk of hood ornaments, have a go at that. Now, the Eagle's head, the made of crystal?
It is. It's a genuine article, that one. Yes, it is.
What made you go this way? Have you always had a passion for the cars of the 20s, Jolene?
Always had a passion for old cars. Totally.
Jolene, thank you so much for coming along and being a part of Americana with this incredible vehicle. 1929 Graham Page, and when I think about it, I don't even know Graham, but he made a wonderful car.
3 brothers, apparently. They did well. No, this event is particularly well run. We have loved it, and it's wonderful for our community too.
See you back here in 24.
Totally.
All right.
Thanks,
Jolene.
Thank you, Fletch. Thank you.
Americana. It's a celebration of the American automotive culture of the USA. A lot of car maker head offices were responsible for producing some of the best and most elaborate makes of automobiles in history to date, built in a different time. New Zealand stands proud,
Our Kiwi neighbours are home to the most American classic cars per capita in the world outside of the United States. It's a big deal. Americana, it's a lifestyle. More so, it's family. It's the camaraderie, same page stuff. Americarna 2023. 4 big days, over 900 vehicles, comprising around 2,000 drivers and passengers. The public, countless thousands. As almost 4,000 wheels turn millions of times over the course of a 4-day event, it's a kaleidoscope of paint colours contrasting against the outstanding Taranaki landscape. An almost sea of dripping chrome defining the quality of these vehicles built in a time gone by. Some may think it's an addiction where there's no cure. To me, it's that and a lifestyle, and one to be a part of. But don't take my word for it. Why not try Americarna 2014 for yourself? They welcome you here with open arms, even if you are an Aussie, because it's Americarna and it's family. These 2 episodes, barely a toe in the water, but at least it gives you some idea on how mighty Americarna is, and hopefully you can experience it for yourself in 2024. I hope you liked it. Until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching.
You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can sign up to be a member of the Shannons Club, your local Holden certified service centre, Pace Farm the enjoyable egg, and Heron Forbes Machinery House, where you can buy online.